Need a boost? Sometimes all it takes is tapping into your inner cool. Icebreaker's gum helps you unleash the confidence within. Each chew releases a rush of icy flavor powered by cooling flavor crystals, sending a wave of refreshment to reinvigorate all your senses. Icebreaker's convenient pack fits everywhere, from car cup holders to backpack pockets, so you can find your cool wherever you go. Grab Icebreaker's gum online or at a store near you.
When it comes to online college, Southern New Hampshire University is so good, it's scary. Listen, the facts don't lie. SNHU has degree programs that fit your goals, online classes that fit your life, and real support at every step. And if that wasn't enough, they've got some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. This is an airtight case, you guys. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to get started. That's snhu.edu/morbid. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hey, weirdos, I'm Ash.
And I'm Alaina.
And I'm Drew.
The special guest.
Yay!
And this is Morbid.
Welcome.
So, yeah, we have had some technical difficulties regarding this episode. So basically what we were doing is like Patreons were picking the cases. We gave them like a couple options, and then the winner of the poll, we would do that case. Mm-hmm. So I think the options that I gave for this week was Dominique Dunn and Venus Extravaganza. Venus Extravaganza won the poll, but upon researching, I started to come across some stuff that I was like, maybe it's not the right time to tell her story.
Yeah.
And the quote that I actually came across was her nephew did an interview with Billboard, and he said, "I don't think Venus in her wildest dreams, according to my family members, would have ever envisioned herself becoming a transgender martyr. I think she just wanted to live her life and just be who she was without dealing with any social pressures or persecution. But the reason why we're so quiet about Venus is because there's a lot of fighting over her legacy." So when I read that, I was like, there's a lot of fighting over her legacy, and right now just doesn't seem like the right time to get into the story.
Yeah. And there's like not a lot is known about the crime either. It's like that's a little bit of a tough one.
Yeah.
On every front.
Exactly.
So it just seems like, the respectful thing to do to not touch it right now.
So, I mean, we still want to stay true to our word and give you 3 episodes this week. And actually, Drew is going to join us for the Venus episode because he loves all things drag and all things Paris is Burning. So instead, we're going to do some listener tales.
Just so that you make sure that you get your 3 episodes. We want to stay true to our word. And we wanted to hang out with Drew.
Yeah, so he's still here.
So it makes all of those things possible. And then the second thing that we just wanted to address, this is just really brief. It's nothing like crazy, but we've just been hearing a little bit of feedback about the Brittany Drexel episodes, about how the 2 girls that she went to Myrtle Beach with, a lot of people have a lot of, opinions about them and whatever. We kind of had our own opinion, but I think that people were taking that, like, hearing about what was going on down there and are now like attacking them personally, like finding them on social media. And we just want to make it very clear. I thought it was clear, but I want to make sure that we say it very clearly in black and white. We do not condone harassing anyone associated with these cases.
No, not at all.
We don't encourage it. We don't condone it. Opinions are opinions. They're like assholes. We all
Everybody
got 'em.
has one.
But we never want, if we say someone's an asshole, that doesn't mean go find them on social media and like try to, make them come off of social media.
No, we don't want anybody harassing anybody.
Yeah, no, unless it's Myra Hindley and Ian Brady, but they're both dead. So
go ahead and harass them.
We can take that one right off the table. If they were still around, I'd say go find them. But no, we really just wanted to be very clear. We don't harass anyone. It's just not, I think most people listening are like, yeah, we know that. but just in case anybody we understand that like emotions run high in these cases. People get angry. We get angry.
Yeah.
And you want to just scream at people involved about it, but it's just not a good idea. It's just let it happen. Let these cases take their course, and just don't do it. We don't condone it. We're not cool with it. So we just wanted to say that. And then we just wanted to end our little business portion of this episode on like a real high note.
I think Alaina almost like shat her pants when I told her what happened, and I almost shat my pants when I saw. I'm an old, so I don't like YouTube. YouTube is like a little foreign in some ways to me. Like there's some things on there from like when I was younger, but like it's turned into something totally different. But I love a lot of these true crime channels. I have to search for the word. Like we've like talked about Bailey Sarian before.
Like Kendall Ray.
Like,
and then one that I have been really, really, really into is Eleanor Neal. And I think her accent is the most delightful thing I've ever heard. Like I could listen to her talk about anything.
Her brogue is wild and amazing.
And then
like
she's
wildly amazing.
She's amazing at research. She's really good at presenting, and I just loved her.
Yeah.
I've always been into her. And then we just found out that she like shouted us out on her recent episode about the Maddie Clifton case, who we talked to Jessica Clifton. We did an interview with her a while back, just talking about Maddie, talking about the case, how it affected her and her family. And it was that interview. I remember we left it and we were just like high, because we were like, that was so like, it was just so satisfying to talk to someone that was like, so I don't know, it just like, I remember we came up and we were like, this is why I want to do this, like to talk to real people. And like she was just so amazing. She was so sweet, she was so informative, and so honest and like real and just gracious, and we loved that episode. So when Eleanor Neal just shouted it out on her recent episodes about Maddie Clifton, which I'm telling you, go listen to her channel.
For sure.
It was like really satisfying, because it was like, oh, that was one that like really was like special to us. So.
Yeah, that one I will remember that interview forever.
Yeah, so it was just like a really big one. So we just wanted to say thanks to Eleanor Neal, and it's so cool that you listen, because we're big fans. So that was like a nice shot in the arm.
I think Gen Z would call us mutuals.
Ooh, really?
Is that what that means? Do you know if that's what that means?
I have no idea.
Sounds spicy.
I don't really pay attention to Gen Z.
That's nice. Just alienate a good portion of our listeners right there. That's awesome.
That was our palate cleanser.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go now.
And I'm out.
I'm a head out.
Oh, I love that.
All right. Well, while Drew heads out, no, I'm totally kidding. But
Drew's sticking around.
We got a lot. So this is like a listener tales episode, obviously, and we got a ton of listener tales regarding Willie Pickton.
Yeah. So I just wanted to read a couple of them, because a couple of them were like, "Whoa,
yeah,
that's crazy."
The whole thing isn't going to be Willie listener tales, but just to start us off,
we just figured we'd start off with them because that was the most recent episodes we've done. So why not? So this first one that I have is called Listener Tale When Pickton Was My Neighbor.
Oh.
Which, wow.
Imagine living next door to that farm.
Right out of the gate. Just
who do you complain to about that noise?
Apparently no one, because it just kept going. All right.
I didn't listen to the Willie Pickton episode, but like I imagine it was rough.
Oh, it's exactly what you're picturing.
Yeah.
Like picture what you're picturing.
Yeah.
And then,
I saw the pictures of him.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
That's all you need to know. You just need to see a picture of him, and then you're like, I get it.
Yeah. Multiply that by like 1,000.
I totally get it.
A little closer.
So it says, "Hey, my weirdos. I listen to your podcast at work and love just how you girls just belittle the fuck out of these scum." Thank you, Anthony. His name is Anthony, by the way. He said I could say it. So he says, "My name is Tony. Hello, Tony.
Hi, Tony.
Can I call you Tony? Tony. All right. And yes, you can use my name. See, I told you. Because the story I'm going to tell does not physically link anyone to Willie's evil ways. This is going to creep you out because, well, now that I'm 35 and know so much about the story, it grosses me out. Hello, fellow 35-year-old. I was going to send you a different listener tale, but because you brought this up to the fellow weirdos, I thought, well, fuck, I might as well tell you this one instead. Let's take you back to the mid-90s, where this guy was just a wee lad. I was about 8 years old, my brother, who was 7 years old, then sometimes had to babysit while my mom had to work nights or decided to go out with my aunt to play bingo. I love that.
Iconic.
Bingo's the best. Or I said 7 years old, by the way, 7 years older than him.
I was wondering why a 7-year-old was babysitting.
Sorry, reading is hard on a Sunday, okay? We just got to do it.
It's hard on it always.
It is. My dad was usually out of town until the weekend because he was a long-haul trucker. Side note, thanks to my weird fascination with serial killers, I always wondered about my dad, but really, he's too much of a crybaby to be one but a cheating husband. All right.
Woof.
Yeah, he was that. LOL. Anyway, back to my brother. I love that he's just like, casual, boom. Well, being young and dumb, my brother had to take me along if he wanted to go out. Sometimes we would ride our bike down the street to this bush boggy area and play around. We knew this plot of land belonged to, yep, you guessed it right, the Pickton family. And they did not like trespassers. We talked about that in the episode. Mm-hmm. So as we played in the swamp, bush, mucky fuck area, catch frogs, and just be kids, but anytime we heard a vehicle, we would duck and hide so that they would not yell at us and chase us off their land. Eventually, they sold part of their land to be housed. Well, that didn't stop us from climbing the new mounds of dirt. Yes, now to this day, I think maybe women were buried there.
Oh man, that's terrifying.
One day, I was climbing up this mound with my brother and his best friend, and lo and behold, what do we see driving in this area? A red pickup. That's Willie's car.
That's Willie.
It was grumpy old Willie. As we try to get off this hill of mud and dirt, my boot gets stuck, and I'm trying to pull it out. All of a sudden, my brother says, "Fuck it, leave it," and I start running with one of my boots in the hill and a muddy sock.
Oh my God.
We run across the street to where my house is, and then we see Willie slowly drive by and yells at us to stay the fuck off his land. Willie Pickton yelled at you. That's so scary. Well, years go by, I end up moving to Maple Ridge, which is 2 towns over, and my brother, who was the troublemaker growing up, started a party with some shady people. I'm stressed.
At the Pickton farm?
Started hanging out with Hell's Angels. We call these type of people hang-arounds, which aren't quite prospects, but still did some dirty work for them. I love Canada. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
We were always aware there's something going on at that farm, but we didn't know it was as bad as it was. And this also was when the Piggy Palace was hopping. My God. The fact that you were just like around for that.
The Piggy Palace?
Oh, yeah. Piggy
you
Palace.
What the fuck is that?
The Piggy Palace Good Time Society.
That's what that is.
That's what that was.
I don't even want to know.
You don't. So eventually they caught Willie. Thank fucking God, you piece of shit. And yes, I do believe his brother was involved. So last year, I really got into true crime, especially serial killers, and I went down the rabbit hole of what Willie really did and what happened on that farm. And it clued in one day. Oh, fuck. My brother was 20 years old around 1998 and was hanging around with Hell's Angels. So I called him up one day. So it pretty much went down like this. Bro, hey, what's up? Me. Hey, man, you remember Pickton? Bro, yeah, man, LOL, why? Me. Well, fuck, I just listened to a podcast about him and his fucked up family. Bro, he's like, he says, you don't even know the half of it. Me. Dude, I just realized you were 19 or 20 around that time. Did you ever go to the Piggy Palace? Bro, all the fucking time. That's where we would go after the bar closed.
Dude, shut up.
Me, dude, holy fuck. You know what went down in that place? Did you see anything? Bro, for how many hang-arounds were hanging out there, you didn't have a wandering eye. Me, I hope to God you didn't eat the barbecue there. Bro, oh yeah, for sure. Me, I'm like, dude, he grinded the victims into the meat grinder. Bro, meh. You only live once. It was so he ate the barbecue.
Did he eat the barbecue
I think
or did he not?
I think he said, oh yeah, for sure.
Oh.
And then his answer was, meh, you only live once.
Ew.
Your bro is wild. I was in complete shock my bro said that, but at this point, what could you do? It's been many years since then. But I did what any good brother would do. I totally ratted on him to my mom, LOL. And no, we never bought meat off them. Their meat looked terrible. Anyways, my bro isn't being a shithead anymore, and I still love true crime, even though my neighbor was a prolific serial killer in Canadian history. Anyway, got a lot more scary stories from crime to spiritual, and hopefully you like to hear them. Thanks for the read. Oh, I added a photo to show you where we lived and where he lived. Well, keep it weird, and I'll let Ash do her thing.
Keep it weird, but not so weird that you live next door to Willie Pickton and you lose you lose your shoe in his hill.
You lost your shoe in his hill.
You lost your ew. I can't.
Maybe it was part of like the excavation and everything. Your shoe was found.
Your shoe may be in like an evidence chain somewhere.
Wow. And he sent a map photo, and they were very close to the farm.
I was just
Like,
looking at
very
it.
close.
That's so scary.
Wow, Tony.
Tony.
Wow, Tony. And the fact that you just casually add in there that your brother might have eaten the barbecue, like that's
I've actually got to go.
wowzers. Like that's a lot. So I think we have one more Willie Pickton-esque listener tale that I will read to you. This one's a little short, but we're going to go for it. This one's called Pickton and Pocompton, a listener tale maybe? Just finished listening to part 2 of your podcast, and first of all, I love your take on it. If you could keep my name confidential, it's appreciated. I can do that.
You got it.
If it's easier, you can call Port Coquitlam Poco or Pocompton, like us locals do. So here's my near Pickton experience. I love that there's like a near Pickton experience. Like that's a thing. At the time, and right up until all this shit with Pickton was exposed, my boyfriend had friends that rented from Pickton. They lived in a house on the Burns Road property. Don't worry though, they did not smell like barn animals, and neither did the house. We used to visit that property frequently to hang out there until his friends had to relocate because, serial killer landlord.
Bananas.
They even shut the property down to dig up for evidence. Luckily, they didn't find anything there. I cringe when I think of all the times I'd pop by later in the evening in the pitch black property on my own, me and my boyfriend there, of course, and would walk from my car alone in the pitch black to the door. Although luckily I never actually met Willie, at least in my recollection. I was so young at the time and super naive and oblivious, but it sounds like I'd remember that smell.
You would definitely remember that smell.
I do recall a time I showed up at the Burns Road property and my boyfriend's friend was in the driveway and says, "I'm just heading over to the stables to meet Willie if you want to come see the horses."
What?
Mm-mm.
What?
No thanks. Luckily, I was still in the very lovey-dovey stage of my relationship, so I couldn't wait to see my boyfriend. I know Willie popped by the property from time to time, so my boyfriend liked to remind me, "You probably sat in the same chair as he did." Shudder.
Ew.
That's it. I'm gonna break here for a shower. There are too many connections to this case when you grow up in the hood of Pocompton. I love your podcast and your lighthearted take on cases. You guys are awesome. And then it says, P.S. We have lots of crazy Canadian cases, but you should look into Dylan Millard. That dude is fucked.
Noted.
Well, now I'm going to look into it.
100%.
Because we still have to have one of our favorite Canadians on the podcast, Jordan, from the Nighttime podcast.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So we're going to have to pick a case for him to be on. Maybe that's one.
We gotta.
Wow, guys. Thank you for sending your near Pickton experiences with us.
I know.
That reminds me of when my dad just casually mentioned his connection to John Wayne
Yes!
Gacy.
He just dropped it.
As we were eating dinner, he's like, "Oh, Ash, what case are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, we're working on John Wayne Gacy." He's like, "Oh yeah, I went to school with one of his victims." And then just took another bite of his dinner.
And my mom was like, "Why didn't I know this?" And he's like, "It's just never come up."
He literally said that. He goes, "It just never came up."
I love it's just never come up. Yeah. Like how it would he's like, "You've just never flat out asked me."
His hometown is 20 minutes away from where John Wayne Gacy
Oh
lived.
my God.
And he also has this connection to a case because he was in the military and one of his sergeants or something was on a Forensic Files episode he killed his either wife or girlfriend.
Oh yeah, I
at the
remember
time.
you saying that.
And
Damn.
he has a picture with him and just sent it to me one day.
just living.
Yeah. Joe is wild.
Joe is on it.
I have great in-laws.
I mean, I guess those things never come up when your family is just not interested in true crime.
I was gonna say.
And then I came along.
Can you just imagine one day someone's like, "I've been meaning to ask you guys. Does anyone have a connection to John Wayne Gacy?" And he's like, "I've been waiting years for you to bring this up."
It's like I walk in, I'm like, "Does anybody have a true crime connection? Anybody have a listener tale?
Pogo the Clown.
Anybody?"
Does that ring a bell to anyone?
Anybody
And
catch
Joe's like, "Ding, ding, ding, I've been waiting.
He's like, "I smell what you're stepping in and let me tell you
I've
something."
been sitting on this for years."
So funny. Wow, yeah. So that's that.
Woo, Willie Pickton.
And now we're going to veer right out of that forever and ever.
Yeah, now bye, Willie. Forever.
My next listener tale is called Mummy, Who's That Lady?
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Hey, Alaina and Ash. I thought I'd email you a story that happened a few years ago. When I think about it now, it still freaks me out. Hold on to your butts. So it all started when my marriage broke down. I was living in the south of England with my son and now ex-husband, who was serving in the military. As I'm from the north, when we were separated, I decided to move back to Manchester to be closer to family and friends. Myself and little boy set off to try to build a new life. We moved in with my sister for a while until we could find a home to rent. It didn't take long, and one came up in the village where I grew up. Perfect. I knew that area really well, and I was close to family and friends, and my favorite chippy was across the road. You can't beat a northern fish and chip shop. Oh, I feel that.
Oh, yeah.
I made fish and chips last night. It was delicious. It was a little terraced house, small but big enough for me, my 2-year-old son Noah, and our cat. Oh my god, I almost just said Poopy, but it's Poppy.
That's what you said. You went poo, and I was like, "Your cat poo,"
and our cat Poopy.
Aww.
No, our cat Poppy, which is an equally
Still really
cute name.
cute.
We moved in and started to build our new life. I got a job and started to find a new normal. I couldn't settle, though. You know when you move into a new place and it takes a while to feel at home? Well, I never felt comfortable. I never felt at home. I couldn't put my finger on what it was. I just had this bad vibe. And the cat wasn't happy either. That's when you know.
They always
When
know.
Poopy is mad, everybody's mad. She's like, that's not my cat's name.
Stop.
Whenever she was in the house, she was skittish, and any opportunity she had, she would dart out the door. Oh no, Franklin does that all the time.
Uh-oh.
No, I don't think we're haunted. Until one day, she just point blank refused to come back in the house. She started going in the neighbor's house instead. No matter what me and the neighbor tried, she would not come back in. I spoke to the neighbor about it. She was an old lady who had lived on the road forever. I told her about my experience of not feeling comfortable in the house, and she said the previous tenant had said the same. She just left it at that, and I thought the house must be unhomely.
Your home should show off who you are. Now is the time to boldly write the newest chapter in your home story. And your main character? It's Ashley. Ashley has styles that balance timeless appeal and modern trends to bring your personal look home. Yes, these are well-crafted and affordable pieces with eye-catching design, but they're also built to stand up to real life. With features like stain-resistant performance fabric, options that are incredibly durable, easy to clean, and stain-resistant with machine-washable covers. Plus, Ashley provides fast, reliable, white-glove delivery right to your room of choice, so you can style your space without any stress. Ashley was nice enough to send us a bunch of new pieces for my pod lab at my house, and when I tell you they deliver it to your room of choice, unfortunately they did have to deliver to the attic, but they could not have been nicer about it. I got, or was gifted, I should say, the Revion Lake sofa and love seat. It's in this like olive colored velvety fabric. It's so nice. I will say it is so freaking easy to clean because if you know me, you know that I have a white cat and a black cat and then a multicolored cat. The white cat loves to just roll all up on this furniture and leave his hair everywhere, but it's so easy to vacuum. I also got the Meili coffee table. So I have that, like I said, in my attic, but I'm ready to order another one for my living room because this coffee table is so beautiful. It has this like antique old money vibe to it. I absolutely love it. And then finally, I got 3 actually of the core stone end tables. They have little shelves in them so you can dress them up and, kind of like personalize them to your style. I highly, highly recommend all of the pieces that I got. And I just recommend Ashley in general. It was such an easy process to shop with them and the delivery, all of that from start to finish. It was awesome. Visit your local Ashley store or head to ashley.com to find your style. Getting paid twice a month doesn't mean money is scarce. It just feels that way. That feeling makes you do weird stuff, like putting things on a card you didn't need to. Earnin removes that feeling. With Earnin, you can access up to $150 per day of money you've already earned, plus up to $1,000 between paychecks. Standard transfers take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees, and expedited transfers start at $3.99 and cap at $5.99. 5 million people are already on it, and honestly, it's wild it didn't exist sooner. Download Earnin on the App Store or Google Play, spelled like earning money without the G. Type in Morbid under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Standard cash outs take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Tips are voluntary and don't affect the service. Available in select states. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
Fast forward a few months. My cats moved out to live with the old lady next door. The betrayal. I held her paw while she gave birth, you know.
Aww.
And my son had his 3rd birthday. He was speaking a whole lot more and can hold a really good conversation. He had always been a really light sleeper as a toddler and ended up in my bed at some point in the night. One night, like usual, he woke up and got in bed with me. Fine. He lay down and I closed my eyes to go back to sleep. Well, then he sat himself up and said, "Mommy, who's that lady?"
Oh, no. Nope.
I asked, "What lady?" He said, "The lady stood at the window." Well, my heart stopped, vom in my mouth. I look up at the window and there's no one there. There isn't a lady, Noah. There she is. She stood at the window. Then my spooky child started giggling, saying, "Stop it, lady." Oh my God. I'm not ashamed to admit.
I'd be like, what's she doing?
I know, I would not ask. I'm not ashamed to admit that I hid under my covers that night, literally shat the bed. That was the start of it. My son started to speak about this lady quite often. He would see her in other places in the house, but mostly in my bedroom, which obviously freaked me out massively. I convinced myself that he had an imaginary friend, and I needed to stop being a shithouse and embrace my creepy child's new mate. I spoke to friends and family about it, and they were unsettled, as I was, about the situation. And then they didn't want to come around my house anymore. Oh
my God.
That sucks. About a month after Noah started seeing and speaking to this lady, I happened to be leaving the house around the same time as my elderly neighbor. She asked how we were getting on and whether we were feeling more at home. I told her no and began to reel everything off my little boy had been saying. She started to look a little flustered, like she was having an internal argument with herself. Then she said, "Verity, I really didn't want to tell you this, but in 1993, Dr. Shipman came round your house and killed the lady who lived there."
Oh, okay.
What?
Like,
That's like Joe dropping the John Wayne Gacy thing. It's just like, boop.
I didn't want to tell you this, but
Didn't want to tell
landslide.
But murder.
Literally. Wow. Well, my jaw hit the floor. I couldn't believe it. I sat home that night and couldn't actually believe what evil had taken place. I honestly believe that the bad vibes I had felt all that time were because of the horror the house had witnessed. I felt so much sadness for the victim. I'll post a link to an article about her. My son carried on speaking to the lady for a little while longer, and then suddenly it stopped. I don't know why. I don't know whether it was linked, but it seems too much a coincidence. The feeling of unease never left, and we moved out a few years later. I often wonder if whoever lives there now has the same feelings I did. My son is now 9 and can't remember the lady at all. Well, at least I don't think he does. I'm not going to mention it because I know he's not ready to hear that story for a long time. Well, that's my spooky true crime story. I hope it met expectations. Here's a link to the victim. Love you both, Verity.
Wow.
That's nuts.
At least she was like nice to the kid.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he was just like, "You crazy lady."
That gives me like she didn't have a body, she was just made of bones vibes.
It really does.
Yeah.
She didn't have
A body, she was just made of bones. Have I ever told you that story?
No.
I've never told you that story.
Oh
No.
man, really?
Should I tell it?
Are you in for a treat?
I don't know.
So you know the like place where I point out to you, like near her house that I used to live in, like above that certain place.
Oh, yeah.
me trying not to triangulate my location.
You know that place.
You know that
Yeah.
place
That's
above
near
that
that
place
other
near that place.
Yes. Got it.
Got it. Okay, so when me and my mom, LOL, lived there, I would like be upstairs at night by myself. It was like a loft apartment, and she would like leave me up there after it was time to go to bed. And my mom like would not come to bed until super late, and I was always terrified. And I would see this lady sitting by the closet, and she didn't have a body. She was just made of bones. And she used to but I think she
But
might
she had
have-
a head, right?
She had hair. Like her face was like skeletal, but it was still a face. And she used to like say scary shit to me. And I don't remember what it was, but like,
when you get older, you're gonna have a big tax bill.
that's what you
scary
said last
shit like
time.
that.
No, I think she was like, "I'm gonna eat you right now."
Oh,
nom nom
shit.
nom. And I would always get so scared. And actually, I got so scared one night that my mom, I was like inconsolable or whatever, and my mom had to call my dad to like come settle me down.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and they were divorced. So imagine what fun that
So
was.
imagine the joy that brought.
But yeah, so hopefully our kids someday aren't as creepy as me.
And don't see the woman.
The amount of like ghost shit you've had happen, and I never had anything happen to me.
Well, that's because you didn't live in like a 19th century farmhouse.
Yeah. My house I grew up in was from the 1800s, and I knew there was definitely some feeling of like spirits, but they like I feel like they liked
chilled.
us, and like. And the only time, like, I really had, like, a ghost encounter is when the ghosts in your grandparents' house would fuck with me.
Oh, yeah. They fucked with you hard.
Story.
They fucked with you hard.
Yeah. I was, like, laying on Ash and, like...
Let's not say it like that.
In a very PG way. Just in case.
I was using Ash as a pillow. Like, what the fuck?
But anyways...
Awesome.
I, like, heard a whisper, and I looked up, and it was, like, clearly not Ash. And did I ask you if you said something?
You go, did you just say something? And I was like, no.
No.
And then I would, like, and that's when I would have to leave for work at, like, 3 a.m. Mm-hmm. And, like, I would walk downstairs, and I could literally, like, sometimes I would, like, feel, like, something, like, right next to me.
Yeah.
Like,
I used to
they
feel
were
that
like,
a lot.
felt like they
Who
were,
the
like,
fuck are
right up
you?
in my face, like, who are you? What are you doing? What the fuck?
Why are you in our house?
They were like, are you a lesbian?
Are you one of those lesbians? Get out of here.
Up until this point, we've only had the straights live
They were
here.
from the 1800s, so they were like, what?
That's what I'm saying. But no, I think they were very protective over me. Because
I think they were.
I moved into that house during some very difficult times.
Yeah. And I always remember the ghosties in that house were always, like, very chill.
Because you and I would, like, when you were younger and I didn't live there yet, like, if Mom and Papa went somewhere, you would stay alone.
I
Like,
would
when you
stay
were
alone,
old
yeah.
enough. And then when you moved out and I lived there and Mom and Papa would go on vacation, I would watch the house.
Yeah. And I remember there was always one, like, this weird whiff of perfume that would go
Yes.
by a lot in that house. And it was when I was feeling, like, creeped out. And I'd be like, oh, I don't know. And then all of a sudden I get a waft of perfume. And
it would
like,
calm you
me.
down.
So I feel like it was like one of the ghosts being like, it's like, here's some Chanel number 5.
Or
You're
when
fine.
your grandparents were away. And
Oh
I was
my
like, I don't
God.
want to stay here. It creeps me out, like, being here alone. I don't want to be here. There are ghosts here. And as I said, there were ghosts here, like, the leaf on the tree fell. And I was like, we're out of here. We're gone.
We are out of here.
It sounds like a lot less dramatic than it was, but we were literally like arguing. Like he was like, I'm not staying here. And I was like, it's fine. I literally live here. Like nothing is wrong. Like, yeah, they're ghosts, but like whatever. As I'm being like, it's fine. And like underplaying the entire situation. Not only did a leaf fall, I think it was like books or something fell off the table. And I was like, okay, thanks a lot, guys.
And you're like, all right.
Because at that point, we were commuting an hour or like over an hour to see each other. So we
Yeah.
had to go drive an hour to
All
his
the
house
way
to
back.
stay. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Thanks a lot, ghosts.
I remember my mom was so unimpressed when we showed up. She was like, really?
She's like, yeah, a leaf fell?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Me and Donna really vibed together that night. I was like, your kid is extra.
Donna's like, you should go on one of those ghost hunting shows. That's compelling evidence.
Donna like has this way of just going, really? Like just like that. And that's
love
exactly
that.
what she said.
I love it.
But
well,
this
you know,
listener tales isn't about me.
This is a fun listener tales. It's because it's like it's a mishmash of
Yeah,
things.
it's a
I like
mishmash
that.
of Willie Pickton, other people's ghost stories, and our early paranormal relationship.
Well, and then I can bring you a pretty fucking terrible murder, which also
Perfect.
was written by somebody who has a band that you should check out because I just listened to it and I was like, whoa.
Oh yeah, we were trying to decide like who your band reminded us of, and we said The Used mixed with the story so far.
Yeah, it's like it brings very like early aughts pop punk realness to me.
Yes.
Like the nostalgia really came bubbling back and I love it.
Yeah, you guys are really talented.
You are. So, and I'll tell you who they are so you can go listen. So this is called Listener Tales, Sandwich Delivery Driver Murderer Piece of Shit.
All right.
So just in case you were about to press go on your DoorDash, wait 1 second. No, I'm totally kidding. Sup, y'all fucking weirdos. My name is Chris. I work in apartment industry in Texas. Get ready to say y'all a lot.
Y'all.
And I'm currently writing this while in an apartment where a lady's throat was slashed while her boyfriend was on a meth binge rage. But that's another story to write later. So this isn't
That's
even
not
about
even it?
that one.
What?
This isn't even about that one.
I need that one as well, please, Chris.
Guy.
What?
He's bringing it already. My wife showed me your podcast, and I've been hooked ever since. I love that. I wanted to share something that happened around 5 years ago. 7-ish years ago, I was dating a girl named Heather Maples. We dated on and off for 2 years, and in 2015, while we weren't together, we spent a weekend together, and were talking about the possibility of getting back together. She had moved to Tennessee and was working as a leasing agent for an apartment complex. The weekend after we spent together, I received a text around 2 a.m. where she was asking about some song. I told her which song it was and fell back to sleep without receiving a response back from her. I went on with my day at work the next day when I received a call from a friend telling me to check social media. When I logged on, I saw that Heather had been brutally murdered around 2 or 3 a.m. My jaw obviously dropped to the fucking floor, and the next week or so was a complete blur of talking to detectives. I was one of the last one in communication with her, and mourning. They finally arrested the scum human about a week later, and details started coming out. This dude was a delivery driver and reportedly had delivered to her previously, and I'm not sure if he became obsessed with her or what, but he broke into her apartment, raped, and strangled her. She died from blunt force trauma. I've attached an article with a few more details. Apparently, I wasn't the only guy she had been talking to. During the trial, it came to light that he recorded the attack on her with his cell phone.
What the fuck?
Regardless of what activities she was engaging in, this still fucked me up pretty bad for about a year till I got together with my beautiful and amazing wife.
Oh.
Anyways, there's my story, and I gotta get the hell out of this murder apartment. Too many spooky vibes going on. Y'all stay weird, but not so weird you let a sandwich delivery guy break into your apartment. P.S. Y'all can use my name, and y'all can also check out my band. His band, Chris's band, is Keepsake, and you can find them on Spotify. And they really, if you like that, like, I feel like when you go to it, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like a really good vibe to it.
It really reminds me a lot of the story
it does.
so far.
It gave me like, it like brought me back.
And I was going to say in high school, that was one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
I got kicked in the face at their show.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, that's like really sad, and I'm so sorry that happened to you because that is way too close to home. So,
seriously.
Wow. Thank you for sharing it with us, though.
Also, can you send us about your scary apartment?
Yeah, please send the second listener tale, please.
Yes, the second listener tale. And it also, his like spooky apartment vibe reminded me of that case that you did in New Orleans.
Addie and Zach.
Yes. It reminded me of that.
I know, that does have the same kind of vibes to it.
We love a spooky apartment, except not at all. I love that my apartment was built in 2016. So
Yay.
It could be a Britney bitch ghost.
Yes.
Which one should I read next? You picked most of these. You want to do kinky bathroom ghost?
Yeah.
So I shouldn't do kinky bathroom ghost is what you're telling me?
Actually, you know what? You can do kinky bathroom.
Is that Moaning Myrtle? Is that
We hope. One can only hope.
Moaning Myrtle is the creepiest.
She is the kinky bathroom ghost.
Did I just say Did I say the kinkiest or the creepiest?
Either way, it
she's
works.
the kinkiest. Okay. Well, this one says, I have a random history of hearing and seeing things I can't explain, but I've never shared any of my experiences with others. They're small things. Sitting on a swing in my backyard and seeing a blurry, misty figure walking between pine trees, or sitting at my dorm desk and hearing a deep whisper repeating my name. The story I'm sharing is from 9 years ago when I was 23 and living in Oshkosh bagosh. Lovingly known as Sloshkosh, Wisconsin. Me and my oh my god, I'm gonna reset. My then boyfriend and I lived on the second floor of a neglected college student apartment building. When I say this place should not have been legal, I mean our smoke detectors dangled open with wires hanging loose. Our freezer kept warm Our freezer kept warm with a layer of mold. Ugh. And the kitchen roof pissed gallons of melted snow over the orange linoleum every other week.
Delicious.
Why? The bathroom was off the living room and triggered my claustrophobia every day. Creaking shut the tall old wooden door closed only with a forceful pull from the inside. The only lock was a silver hook through a silver hook through an eye at tit level. On a lazy night, when my boyfriend was on the couch watching TV, I went in the bathroom, pulled the crooked door shut, and secured the hook latch. I know I locked it because as I did, I thought, this is stupid. The only person here is Assface, not his real name, and he's not coming in. And I'm bathroom shy, and I wanted the security of the sophisticated lock could provide. I was on the toilet contemplating important Wisconsin dilemmas like Do brats go better with Munster or cheddar cheese? When the door opened a third of the way, just enough for me to see out in the living room and shit myself. Good thing you were already on the toilet.
Yeah.
I could see Assface still sitting across the room on the couch, and no other people were in the apartment. The door opens into the living room, so it's not like my ninja cats could have pushed it open to visit their mommy while she peed. I shot up, pants around my ankles, and yanked the door shut as hard as possible. There was no way it could open on its own. Even without the lock, it takes muscles to move it from the frame. I slept that night with my phone flashlight on, and for the rest of our lease, I was high alert on whatever kinky spirit haunted the building. I haven't had an unexplainable experience since, although I now live in a house where the previous owner died, so I'm holding on to my butt for whatever comes up next. Keep it weird, but not so weird that you live with a ghost with no boundaries, kills your smoke detectors, and haunts your bathroom.
Oh, and that's from Sarah.
That's from Sarah. Are you going to read her other one?
I'll read her. Sarah sent us 2 double space in PDFs, which is just great.
Because Sarah knows what the fuck is up, and she knows that
Yeah.
I can barely read double spaced as is, but
It was just really great.
It
So we
was.
appreciate that, Sarah. And that was the kinky ghost. And she also has one called the Green Man.
all right.
I moved to Belleville, Wisconsin in 1994 when I was 6 and first heard about the Green Man when I was a teenager. Belleville is a town of 2,300 nestled between cornfields with no stoplights. Main Street has 4 bars. We have a parade every year to honor UFOs and aliens.
Iconic.
And our grocery store has changed names at least 3 times in the past 15 years. You know you're a pre-Y2K resident when you know what Old Jim's is or crawled your way out of the shed after one too many shots of blue raspberry UV cranked your teenage stomach.
Blue
Wow.
raspberry UV
Wow.
brought me back.
My family lived in town until I turned 13, and we bought a lot in a wheat field 2 miles away from the nearest soccer field. Moving from having neighbors behind and on both sides of us to being isolated in the country, serenaded by coyotes every night, was freaky. Our living room had tall windows stacked on each other to reach the 15-foot high ceiling. Wow. My parents didn't get blinds in them for a few years, so I spent nights huddled alone on the couch under a heavy blanket, holding the remote as both a tool and a weapon as the darkness stared back at me. That's terrifying.
What I got out of that was if you celebrate Christmas, you could have had the most baller
Oh,
Christmas
the
tree.
hugest tree. The Green Man.
Not the Christmas tree.
No, the Green Man. Supposedly, he was a man released from prison after serving time for something violent. His house was out on Highway 92, hugged in the curve of the road by a healthy wall of pine trees blocking its twisted frame from view. His name came from the paint he used on his skin when he went out hunting. More than one friend told me stories of how he crept through their backyards, climbed into their back porches, and tapped his machete against their windows.
Goodbye.
Others spoke of him walking through cornfields to step out on a desolate road looking for someone to cut. There are no streetlights in the country, and stop signs provide perfect chances for a person or deer to pounce on the newly licensed victims. Although I spent years terrified to look out my windows at night, the only time I saw what could have been Green Man was during my junior year when I was on a midnight drive with 2 friends. That's when it all happens.
Those are the best.
That's it. After dropping one girlfriend off at her house, a majestic cabin on a hill you could get into only by driving on miles of 2 curvy wooded roads, my other friend and I sang loudly to our Fall Out Boy CD as I drove back to town. Wow. I pulled up to an intersection and stopped to check for cars. There were no lights, only half-dead corn waiting for harvest. I looked left, then right, and screamed when I saw a man standing on the shoulder of the road, heels kissing the grass as he stared at us. You are a great writer, by the way.
Yeah, she is.
The Sherwin-Williams summer sale is here. Get 30% off select paints and stains or 35% off their newest product, Emerald Symmetry, July 17th through the 27th. Whether you're looking to refresh your interior or your exterior, they've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
There were no other cars around and no nearby houses he could have come from. He must have walked out of the corn just as I pulled up. He didn't move, didn't say anything, just stared into the window. My friend hit the dash to get me to drive, and I slammed the gas of my 96 Mazda so it pushed ahead. I looked forward while my friend turned around to stare at the man, saying that he was still watching us, stepping into the road and turning his body towards my car. We were terrified and actually really lucky. My car had engine problems back then.
Oh my God.
More often than not, whenever I would come to a complete stop, the engine would shut off and I'd have to put it into park, remove the key, then start it back up again, hoping the sputter would turn into a hum. Oh my God. That was so many cars that I drove in high school.
I was going to say.
All my friends' cars, all of my cars.
That was my
every single
Saturn.
one. Yeah. I don't know why it didn't happen that night at the stop sign. I do know that 16 years later, I have a fear of dark nights and roads. I drive by the Green Man's old house weekly to visit family. It's been listed for sale but never purchased, adding to its mystery. It doesn't look like anyone could be living there, but I'm not about to go knock on the door to check. Thank you for reading my small town tale. Keep it weird, but not so weird that you drive a dying car at midnight and almost get murdered by a field wandering maniac who wears his favorite color like a creepy badge of crazy.
Oh, his house is spooky, but the land
It's
is beautiful.
It's this little creepy house.
Courtesy of a Zillow listing.
Well done with the crediting there. Wow, Sarah.
That's bonkers.
You're an amazing writer, first of all, and your life is hilarious. And I love it.
I love that so much. Imagine if you were just driving in the middle of the night and that happened to you.
And everybody has that like one thing in their town, like that one crazy dude that is like legend.
One time in high school.
You're like, oh, I got one.
Me and my friends went and we drove down this like dead end, but we didn't know it was a dead end. It was like because I grew up like on the Assabet River, and like we were trying to get to the river, and we drove down this dead end, turned around, and when we were coming back, there was a guy standing in the middle of the road. Like, literally just standing in the middle of the road, so, like, just blocking us. And, like, I, like, creeped up, and, like, he started screaming at us, because apparently I was going too fast.
Oh, sweetie, let me pop in here to say it's not apparently, you definitely were going, like, 50.
I love it.
In a 30.
According to some circles.
Drew never thinks that he's driving too fast. You know the road on your house where you're supposed to go like 20?
Yes.
He was going like 40 the other day. I was like, dude, what are you doing?
So it's debated whether you were going too fast.
It's debated. Yeah. And afterwards, I was with like my best friend whose dad was a police officer in our town, and we called him, and he's like, "Yeah, that guy's crazy. Don't go down there." Like, he's just like, "Yeah, you're dumb."
He's like, "Oh, you guys are stupid. You're lucky you're alive. That guy murders people on the regular. We just let it happen."
We actually avoid those parts ourselves.
Oh my God, I love it.
That's amazing.
That we had one in our town, but he used to just like get really mad, and he would like hit your car with a shovel. He would come running out of the back of his house and like hit your car with a shovel.
God.
Yeah, you guys used to like go around there. We never did. I don't know if he passed away before I got into high school though.
No.
No, we never went there.
Yeah, he was a scary dude.
Yeah.
The kids are the worst.
Yeah, that's very true. Which one should I read next? I could read... Okay, I'm going to read the Nottingham Castle one.
I'm excited for this one.
I am so excited. Let me just pull it up here. Oh, and we got another PDF.
Ooh.
Hey ladies, my name is Louise and I'm here to tell you some tales about history, well, some of it, of Nottingham Castle in England, and sorry about the length. Never be sorry.
Never. We love a lengthy listener tale.
We do. First, I'll tell you how we started. Nottingham began in the 6th century. We be an old-ass city. It was a small settlement known as Snotta Ingham. Yup, snot. So let me explain.
Snotta Ingham?
Snotta Ingham. Yup, snot.
Love that.
So let me explain. The word ham means, or at least meant, village. Inga meant belonging to, and Snotta was a man, probably the chief of the village. So the name just meant the village owned by Snotta. Over time, we dropped the S, and there you have it, Nottingham.
I didn't know that.
I like that. When Denmark conquered northeast and eastern England in the late 9th century, I think that means Viking dudes, and my DNA is 50% Scandinavian, and my family has been nowhere near that place, so I'm gonna say I'm a legit Viking.
Heyo.
Heyo. Nottingham became a fortified settlement. The town grew after the Norman conquest, that's the French, and in 1067, William the Conqueror built a wooden castle there, and this is still the site of that castle today. Now, Nottingham Castle is no longer a castle. It's a ducal mansion built in the 1670s. It has an interesting history. Look into it. There have been sieges, wars, murders. It's been burned down and rebuilt. Honestly, it's fascinating if you like that kind of thing. So I don't know how much you guys know about royalty, especially in history, but let me tell you, they be some of the most whiny, overprivileged, self-serving fucks that have ever existed.
I love this.
You want to take over and read the
I'll
rest?
take over. Here's one horrific example of that. Hold on to your tits, girls. This shit be disturbing. In 1212, a Welsh prince was causing King John I a little trouble. I mean, he probably just didn't like the shitty rule of this English fuckface, but who knows? In some effort to bring this prince back under his control, shitty King John held 28 boys, ages 12 to 14, hostage at Nottingham Castle. This was quite common back then. They were generally treated well and raised in a way that made them have some loyalty to their parents' enemy. Think Theon Greyjoy living with the Starks. It's that kind of sitch.
He was my fave.
You made me understand.
I get it.
He was your fave.
I know, and then recap.
Yeah, and then recap.
Poor thing.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's because you haven't started it yet, but we're gonna do
You
that this
will.
week.
You will.
I think we're gonna do it this
I
week.
can't pet you right now, but I'm pantomiming going, you will.
You will.
These boys were the children of Welsh noblemen, and I guess this privileged arse thought holding the kids hostages would keep the Welsh prince in check. This was not the case. The prince revolted again, and King John decided to execute their children as punishment.
Oh, okay.
Yep, this piece of shit hung all 28 of these children by tying a rope around their neck and having them thrown over the castle wall.
Jesus.
And then she says, taken from a short story of Nottingham Castle, a chronicler states that the boys' pitiful cries rang around the castle as one after the other they were taken up on the ramparts and hanged in a row. The boys being taken from their play, some screaming, others pleading in vain for mercy, and hanged on the castle walls. Seriously, what was wrong with people in this day and age? This wall still stands.
What?
What?
Why wouldn't they just knock it down?
Because they'd have to knock everything down.
Knock everything down.
Bad shit happened on everything. It's also said that rather than have the boys buried, they were left to rot hanging on the wall. And now people still hear the boys pleading for their lives.
Yeah, tear it down.
Just one more note to show what an utter cunt King John I was. Here's another quote about some other shit he did done.
He did done.
A clerk of the... I don't know what that word is.
A squetcher?
A squetcher. A clerk of the Exchequer... Joffrey by name, on small suspicion, was thrown into a dungeon at Nottingham Castle, and there done to death. He closed him in lead, and so by depriving him of air, bereft him... Oh, okay, I get it. It's in, like, Old English, that's why I can read. He closed him in lead, and so by depriving him of all air, bereft him of his life withal. Let me translate that Old English speech. They lay lead on his chest until they crushed his lungs.
Oh, shit. I did not gather that.
That's insane. They Giles Corey'd him.
They did.
Wow. But those poor boys are not the only ghosties in and around the castle. Possibly the most well-known ghost story is that of Mortimer's Hole.
That does sound familiar.
Now, ladies, pull your minds out of that gutter. Mortimer's Hole is a cave, nothing else.
Oh, that's not what I was thinking.
Nottingham is full of caves. We're a city built on sandstone, which is very easy to dig into. Nottingham Castle sits on top of a massive sandstone outcrop. Castle Rock. We be good at names. Castle Rock. And has a network of tunnels leading up and into the castle. There are some grisly happenings in here, too. Sorry for the length. The story begins with King Edward II, yet another shitbag unpopular king who ruled England for 20 years between Edward, the second son of Edward I, became heir apparent, following the death of his elder brother, Alfonso. Dude, we could have had a king called freaking Alfonso. Edward ascended to the throne after his father's death, because, that's how that works. His troubled reign was in no small way caused by his relationship with a member of his personnel household, Piers Gaveston. Gaveston had been introduced to court by Edward's father, but he was later banished and exiled because he was quote-unquote a bad influence on Prince Edward. Now let me tell you why this is bullshit. Gaveston was unpopular, sure, but he was not, in my opinion, a bad influence. There's a lot of evidence that Prince Edward and Gaveston were actually lovers. I wondered if that's what it was. And that was the reason King Edward I didn't like their relationship. When Edward II became king, he recalled the man he loved to court, where Gaveston's power and influence over the king was resented by the barons, 'cause jealousy. The barons hated this dude so much, they forced the king to exile him again, but instead, he made Gaveston Lord Lieutenant of Ireland so he could still see him. Wow. In 1308, Edward married Isabella of France, daughter of King Philip the... What is that number?
I'm going to say 5, but I don't know.
Wait, the IV?
IV.
4.
4. I thought, okay,
The
cool.
I's before, it's like 1 less.
Awesome. There you go. Thank you, Drew. I don't know my Roman numerals.
That checks out on Google.
There you go. Edward married Isabella of France, daughter of King Philip V. Right?
No,
fourth. Sorry, fourth.
That was my fault.
To give you an idea of Isabella's rep, her nickname was the She-Wolf of France.
There's a she-wolf in your country.
What a badass nickname.
That's iconic.
I'm screaming.
Sorry, I just like threw my foot into the microphone.
And whatever her husband's relationship with Gaveston was, she grew to hate him. And soon enough, she did her job and popped out a kiddo. Future King Edward III. Gee, another Edward, the imagination of these fuckers. This brought the couple together for a while, but soon Gaveston was back in the picture, and the Queen and the barons were not impressed. Now, Gaveston had been killing it as Lord Lieutenant of Ireland. Yeah, no clue what the Lord Lieutenant is either, sorry. So Edward convinced the barons to allow Gaveston back into England. But once again, they could not stand Gaveston and Edward's relationship, and they took action against him, bringing the country to the brink of civil war. The peerage and clergy served the king an ordinance which restricted his powers, and they added an addendum to the ordinance, which was the exile upon pain of death of Piers Gaveston.
Oh, okay.
Wow, you guys suck. Not you talking, but like these people. But like the lonely lover he was, that dude came on back, but this time, Thomas of Lancaster and Guy de Beauchamp, Earl of Warwick, hunted him down and put him to death.
Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. Okay, let's have some real talk, just one-on-one for a second. I know you know this feeling. You start your period and the only pad that you have available is uncomfortable. It's like crunchy and weird. We can literally start our car from our phones, but we're still settling for crunchy, uncomfortable pads. Girl, listen, when you're looking for softness and protection, Kotex has you covered. They are changing the game with a completely redesigned lineup of pads and liners that are designed around what women actually want, like Kotex Bamboo. Kotex Bamboo has a 100% bamboo-derived viscose top layer that provides ultra-soft protection, which means you don't have to worry about feeling itchy or uncomfortable. It's like the worst feeling ever. It's gentle on the skin and it's made without fragrance too. Check out Kotex.com for more details on the new and exciting launch of Kotex Bamboo, available in regular, heavy, overnight, and daily liners. Every flow covered. Now available at retailers nationwide.
Death by sword. So yeah, Poor Gaveston was stabbed to death on June 12th, 1312. Don't worry, I'm getting to the ghost, honest, but context here is important. Honestly, I'm loving this. So not only was the king devastated by the death of his friend and lover, he was also losing the war with Scotland and had just lost the Battle of Bannockburn to Robert the Bruce. While I may be English, whoop whoop bobo. Bad times, Edward. No, I don't know what you know about English and Scottish geography, but apparently the Scots beating the English in Stirling meant that Queen Isabella had to flee York to Nottingham. Stirling is 225 miles from York, and York is 93 miles from Nottingham. So honestly, not sure what difference that extra 90 miles would make to the marauding horde that had actually already traveled over 200 miles, but hey, royalty. Apparently, it's because Nottingham Castle was a very strong fortress. This is where we meet our main man, Roger Mortimer, who would soon give his name to a whole, Roger de Mortimer, Lord of Wigmore, 3rd Baron Mortimer, 1st Earl of March, fuck me, names were complicated back then, was born in 1287 and was of royal blood, a second cousin twice removed of King Edward II, and fourth cousin once removed of Queen Isabella. Go incest.
And also an ancestor of Tinsley Mortimer. That's all I have to give you.
Ash has much to offer in this.
I love history.
I just love that little like parenthetical there that says go incest.
Yikes.
Like most of the barons and nobles, Mortimer had been one of the men who opposed Edward's relationship with Gaveston, but this doesn't mean to have affected his relationship with the king. He was even made Lord Lieutenant of Ireland after Gaveston's murder. Around this time, there was some kerfluffle among
Love that word.
Loyal to the king and those who thought it was an utter tit. I love like British slang. During this time, as the king reestablished royal authority, there were some minor skirmishes, and Mortimer was arrested and imprisoned in the Tower of London. Oh,
yikes.
That's no good. We know that. This dude is not executed, but condemned to life in prison. This turned out to be a mistake on the king's part and would lead to his downfall. After 2 years, Mortimer managed to escape and fled to France. Now, this was the beginning of the end for good old King Edward II. His marriage was in the shitter, his kingdom was in ruin, and internationally, politics was just against him. So they sent Isabella to France with their son, the future king, on some diplomatic mission. And this is where she met and fell in love with Roger Mortimer. Yeah, the queen was having an affair, and they plotted against the King of England. They invaded England, if a queen can actually invade the country she rules. And Edward and his supporters were taken by surprise. The king was captured near Carefully. What is that?
Carefully?
Carefully. That be in Wales, they said. While trying to escape to Ireland and imprisoned in Kenilworth Castle. Edward was forced to abdicate, and his son, you know it, Edward, became King Edward III of England. Now Edward, this new Edward, was only a child and so needed a regent. That's like a responsible adult who actually makes the decisions. And his regent was his mom, King Isabella, who was guided in no small part by her lover Mortimer.
You said King Isabella.
King Isabella. She might as well have been.
She basically was.
She is. Mortimer needed the old king gone because he would probably raise an army and claim the country again. And soon the old king died of natural causes, quote unquote, while being kept at Berkeley Castle. Later, we find out it was far, far from natural, and this man died a horrendous and painful death. Hold on to your butts, the Chronicle of Geoffrey Le Baker states. He was held in a cell above the rotting corpses of animals in an attempt to kill him indirectly.
What? How would that even work?
Just with like nastiness and infection and grossness?
Just with stank.
But Edward was extremely strong, fit, and healthy and survived this treatment. Ooh. Until on the night of September 21st, 1327, he was held down and a red-hot poker pushed into his anus through a drenching horn. His screams could be heard for miles around. I think I just heard his screams. I can still hear his screams. I heard it over here.
Wow.
Yikes.
Oi. Apparently this was done so there would be no suspicious marks on his body. Fun times. Fuck that.
They're like, oh, look, just a couple of hemorrhoids.
No big deal. Just a burnt anus. Don't worry about it. Mortimer was now acting like he was king, and soon his controlling of the king and his shitty running of the country began to split the realm into fractions, those who supported Mortimer and those who supported the king. After a few years, Edward planned a coup against Mortimer and his mother Isabella. He gathered a group of 20 or so young men who he made knights and looked for the best time to surprise Mortimer. His chance came along when Mortimer, who was now a paranoid fecker, called Parliament to attend him at Nottingham, where he was safely ensconced with Isabella in the castle, one of the country's most comfortable and secure royal residences. And this, my dudes, is where we get Mortimer's hole. What happened next was obviously planned. Those 20 knights close to the king were shown into the castle via a secret underground passage leading up through the rock. Someone at the top, possibly Edward himself, unlocked the door inside the castle and let the knights in. These knights ended up fighting with Mortimer and some of his followers. One was killed, and a terrified bishop was caught trying to escape through a privy shaft. Yep, this dude full-on tried to escape via the poop chute. Mortimer was arrested, and the Dowager Queen placed under armed guard. They bound Mortimer and took him back down into the tunnel. All of that leads to just 2 ghosts. Haha, so in the castle you hear shuffling footsteps that are credited to a bound Mortimer, and you often hear a woman crying out for Mortimer's life. Fair son, have pity on the gentle Mortimer. Aw, sweet. So all of that word vomit was just a few ghosts, but I think it's a fascinating tale of a very brutal time.
Wowee.
Yeah.
That was like,
That was
whoa.
bananas. Louise, thank you for the history lesson.
Louise.
Girl.
Yeah, shit. That was awesome. I want to be like, could that just be an episode all by itself?
That was like
awesome.
That was very you.
That was so fun.
Yeah, that was like very like Prince in the Tower.
Yeah, that's fun. Like medieval torture episode style.
Yeah, so much fun. The best.
So fun, guys.
Well,
Man.
everybody, that was our listener tales episode with my man.
You guys rock.
Woo! Well, guys, we hope you keep listening.
And you know what? If you have listener tales, make sure you send them to morbidpodcast@gmail.com with the subject line listener tales and then something really funny.
Yeah. And we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
Keep
it
weird. Do you want to do the not so weird?
Sure.
You have to wrap them all up into
Okay.
one bundle.
You can do it.
You gotta say it so fast.
Okay, but not, I don't know. All right, but not so weird that you live in, was that in Scotland?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or no, there was some Scotland in there.
Not so weird. Anyways, but not so weird. I have to gather myself.
I'm sorry.
I have to gather myself.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
If
you
wanted
gave me
to
your
know how
best
my
shot.
brain works.
Okay, ready? But not so weird that you live next door to Willie Pickton, because that would be crazy. Not so weird that you leave your boot in Willie Pickton's like yucky thing. Not so weird that your child's like, Mommy, who's that lady? Like, can we go talk to her? Oh my God, lady, you're so funny. Definitely not so weird that you go to Nottingham Castle. I'm just gonna leave it at that because that was wild. Not so weird that you have a kinky bathroom ghost, and not so weird that your band is super cool, but your experience was not. And I think that's it.
Not so weird that you see the Green Man just chilling.
Oh yeah, not so weird that that happens to you. And yeah, so with that being said, bye.
Thanks, guys.
Love you, mean it.
Bye.
Bye.
Do you remember in school when your teacher had a favorite of everything? A favorite marker, a favorite element, and yes, even a favorite student? Who wasn't me, so let's move on. I want to talk about their real favorite thing. Kleenex tissues. According to teacher lists, Kleenex is the #1 facial tissue trusted by teachers. Their silky soft help prevent skin irritation. And now, with Kleenex Snap and Go, you can take them anywhere. Stock up on the ultimate classroom favorite. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
You know that feeling when you come home late from work and those puppy dog eyes just pierce right through your soul? Or when you're packing for a trip and your cat refuses to leave your suitcase? Yeah, we've all been there. Pet parent guilt is real. And you know what? It's completely normal. That's exactly why Hill's Pet Nutrition exists. They understand that being a pet parent means being human, with all of our imperfections and daily juggling acts. Hill's science-led nutrition helps you give more love than humanly possible. Whether it's those long work days or trying to balance attention between multiple pets, Hill's Pet Nutrition gets it. They've created science-based nutrition that supports your pet's lifelong health so you can feel confident even when life gets hectic. Because you're only human, there's Hill's. Science does more. Ready to let go of the guilt? Find the right food at hillspet.com/podcast. That's hillspet.com/podcast.